Breaking news! The Buffalo Bills backstage is on fire. There's excitement, tension, and high expectations in the air, and look, the season promises to be great. But before we continue, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the news about our great Bills. Let's go! James Cook just dropped a bombshell on Bills Mafia without saying a single word. He listed his Orchard Park house for sale. That's right. No cryptic Instagram story, no vague tweet. He just put the for sale sign up, and now the entire fan base is left wondering, is this a subtle jab at the front office, or is Cook simply planning ahead? Because let's be honest, this isn't just some routine real estate move. It's sending a message, and the message is loud. Something's off in the relationship between James Cook and the Buffalo Bills. We're talking about a guy who just had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, averaging nearly 5 yards per carry and elevating his game in the postseason, rushing for 90 yards a game and scoring in every matchup. He's been one of the most consistent weapons in Buffalo's offense, stepping up as RB1 in a rotation that's constantly changing. But now, he's putting his house on the market with a year left on his rookie contract, and that's coming just days after GM Brandon Beane confirmed the team and Cook's camp aren't even close on an extension. Add in the fact that Ian Rappaport went on national television and straight up said, "It's not great," and now the whispers are becoming real talk. Rappaport explained that players know this kind of thing gets reported. They know it makes headlines. So when you sell your house, especially in a football town like Buffalo, you're making a statement whether you want to or not. This isn't just a matter of downsizing or moving closer to family. This is a calculated play, possibly a last-ditch effort to put pressure on the front office to get a deal done. But here's the kicker, it's not working. Beane isn't biting. No extension is imminent. And if you think that's all, strap in. Because Cook didn't just put the house on the market, he also went live on Instagram and pinned a comment stating he wants $15 million a year. $15 million a year. That's top-tier running back money, and it's a bold move to publicize a number like that, especially in a league where contract negotiations are typically handled behind closed doors. Cook's approach? It's loud, it's public, and to some, it's immature. And yet, can you really blame him? He's 25, entering the prime of his career, and statistically, he's only getting better. But the Bills have cap issues. They're already deep into financial gymnastics just to keep the core together. And let's not forget, Cook wasn't on the field for the final drive of the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. Why? Pass protection. He couldn't be trusted to block when it mattered most. Instead, Ty Johnson and rookie Ray Davis were called in to protect Josh Allen, who was under heavy pressure in a do-or-die moment. That detail, Cook's absence in the clutch, is what's giving the front office pause. Dynamic runner? Absolutely. Complete back? Not quite. So where do we go from here? According to Rappaport, the Bills still want Cook in their future. He's young, productive, and a game changer. But that IG Live moment, where he pinned his own salary demands, rattled some cages. It's unorthodox, and frankly, it may have backfired. Yet there's still a path forward. Rappaport believes a reconciliation is possible, but it's not coming soon. More likely, he says, is a franchise tag in 2026, a move Beane rarely uses. But in this case, it might be the compromise, keep Cook for his peak years without handing out a massive long-term deal. And all of this is happening with the 2025 NFL Draft just 3 weeks away. The Bills are shifting gears, not just trying to lock down the present, but scouting the future. And the top 30 visits tell us a story of a team that's hungry for elite athleticism and raw upside. Only 3 names have been confirmed so far, but each one points toward a front office looking for game changers. First up, Stefon Diggs Jr., cornerback out of ECU. Think long, fast, aggressive, and raw. At over 6 feet 3 inches with blazing speed, Raw was a star in just 3 games before a torn ACL sidelined him in September. But in those 3 games, 2 picks, a defensive touchdown, a 33% completion rate allowed. He's drawing comparisons to Tariq Woolen, another raw, overlooked prospect who became a star in Seattle. If the Bills want a CB who can step in from day one, Raw might be their guy. Next, edge rusher Femi Aladejo from UCLA. With Joey Bosa on a 1-year deal and his injury history looming large, the Bills need youth and depth on the edge. Aladejo is explosive, with 5 sacks and 33 pressures in 12 games last season. He's rising up draft boards so fast that Buffalo might have to trade up just to grab him in time. A project? Maybe. But with the right mentorship, he could be a major force on this D-line, especially learning behind guys like Greg Rousseau and Bosa. And finally, Isaiah Bond, wide receiver from Texas. This dude is fast. Jalen Waddle comparisons fast. His 2024 stats won't blow you away, just 540 yards, but he still found the end zone 10 times. Think about that. 10 touchdowns on limited touches. That's the kind of production you can't teach. With Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, and Khalil Shakir expected to carry the load this season, Bond could be the deep threat cherry on top, especially if he slips into day 2. 3 visits, 3 high upside prospects. And with 10 picks in this draft, don't be surprised if the Bills make a move to get their guys. Whether it's a corner, an edge rusher, or a burner at wide out, the front office is clearly looking for athletes who can explode onto the scene, even if they're a little raw. But what does this all mean for the bigger picture? James Cook's future is murky. The draft board is still mostly hidden. And the tension between star players and front office decisions feels like it's starting to boil. Are we watching the beginning of a fracture, or the build-up to a breakthrough? So now it's your turn. Bills Mafia, what do you think? Should the Bills pay James Cook the $15 million he's asking for? Is he worth locking in as the long-term RB1, or would you rather tag him and draft his replacement in the next year or two? And with the draft on the horizon, what position should Buffalo target with their first pick? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like if you want Cook to stay in Buffalo, and subscribe for more exclusive insight into everything going on with our Bills. This is the story to watch, and you better believe we're just getting started. And just when you think the drama couldn't get any deeper, enter Josh Allen. While he hasn't publicly addressed the situation with James Cook, you better believe he's watching it unfold just like the rest of us. This is the franchise quarterback, the face of the team, and someone who's developed real chemistry with Cook in both the run and pass game. The Allen to Cook connection was a big reason the offense stayed balanced and explosive down the stretch last season. If you remove that piece, or even create tension around it, it has ripple effects. And it's not just on the field. It's the locker room, the vibe, the trust. Let's not forget, this is the same organization that had to move on from Stefon Diggs, another elite talent whose off-field energy became a distraction. So the front office isn't afraid to make tough decisions. But that move also sent a message, one that James Cook and every other young player noticed: no one is untouchable. Not even the stars. And while Cook hasn't acted out nearly to the level Diggs did, the social media antics and real estate moves are stirring the pot. Whether intentional or not, he's now at the center of the spotlight. But here's the strategic dilemma. If the Bills give in and hand him $15 million per year, they risk setting a precedent. You go public, you get paid. But if they play hardball and let this relationship deteriorate, they could lose one of the most productive backs in the league at a time when Allen needs every weapon he can get. It's a balancing act between control and chemistry, cap space and culture. And speaking of culture, Sean McDermott is the guy tasked with keeping it all together. The Bills head coach has built a reputation on accountability, discipline, and focus. He's not going to be thrilled about contract